So in Miss South Africa 2020, education and qualifications were still very much important, which would make sense. I mean, if a woman is supposed to be modeled after by young girls, she's aspirational, she's achieving as much as she can. Education is definitely one of those aspirational things to allow more girls to look forward to studying and then becoming Miss South Africa. Miss South Africa 2020. The applicant must be in possession of a matric certificate or equivalent NQF level 4 qualification. In the event that the applicant makes it through as a semi-finalist, she will be required to provide proof of this qualification. The applicant is encouraged to provide the organization with details of any further tertiary qualifications, proof of which will be required should the applicant make it through as a semi-finalist. Now let's see the contrast in Miss South Africa 2024. On their website here, one of the FAQs is, do I need a matric qualification and or a degree? And the answer is, no, there are no minimum qualifications required to enter. So now anybody can enter Miss South Africa. And Miss South Africa, honestly, in my mind, is not meant for everybody to be able to enter because the standards are supposed to be high. You're supposed to have a model woman, a citizen of South Africa, a natural South African that represents the standards of South Africa. A woman that when you take her to Miss Universe, she represents the pillars, the culture, the tradition, and the standards of a South African woman. But here we see they're just lowering it again, setting the bar even lower, that you don't even need to have a matric qualification to enter. A statement released by Miss South Africa stated all women are welcome to enter this year's competition. Miss SA has changed the rules and made it possible for all women, straight, trans, queer, large, small, short, tall, or married, and with or without children to take part in the pageant. This to me just shows, like, once again, the standards are so low right now because Miss South Africa was never meant to be for all women. It was meant to be women that dedicated their lives to being the embodiment of a model, a role model for young women. If the standards of Miss South Africa have changed like this, what will then Miss Teen allow? Miss Teen standards are then also going to decrease because there are a lot of teenagers that also have children. So does that mean now we need to be inclusive of them in the demographics of Miss South Africa? I hope we can all understand what's really happening. The same way I explained dark marketing in certain ways, how social media has created an environment for people to manipulate our moral guidance and standards by making it more appealing and aesthetically appealing to the eye. And that is what Miss South Africa 2024 is doing. They have changed their narrative to include all women, no matter if you're married or not, if you have children or not. Whereas when they first began, and as early as 2020, those requirements of being married were not allowed. Requirements of having a child were not allowed. What's the next 2025 Miss South Africa going to look like? What else are they going to accept? Another thing this is showing us as South Africans is that we're so complacent to society changing around us. We are not safeguarding or gatekeeping anything. We are just allowing our country to fall apart and not say or do anything about it. Not hold companies and organizations, institutions, Miss South Africa, not hold them under scrutiny for the rules that they have changed. And I understand that the world changes and there's more inclusivity right now. But something that used to be very exclusive for a certain group of women is now allowed for all women of all backgrounds and all types. And that just shows how us South Africans are just blindly letting the standards of our country be downgraded until they will be on the floor.